Good morning, students. Welcome back to the course of software testing methodologies. Today in this video, let us discuss about what is path sensitizing. This video is brought to you by Newton's Group of Institutions, Macharla. This is Arvind Egireddy from the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Now, let us see what is path sensitizing. So in path sensitization, here we have to review what are all the achievable and unachievable paths. And in order to accomplish the test completeness, that is C1 or C2, for sufficient paths, the procedure what we have to follow is, first we have to extract the program control flow graphs, and then we have to select a set of tentative covering paths. Then once after selecting the path selection, we have to determine the predicates for all the paths that exist in the selected path set. And this makes the basic nature of each predicate compound. So in order to achieve a Boolean expression, the path is traced by multiplying the individual compound predicates. And for instance, let the compound predicate, what we take, let it be A plus BC into D plus E into FGH into IJ into K into I into L. So here, where the terms in these parentheses, they are called as compound predicates, which are meant at each decision along the path at each letter A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, and L. So here, these A, B, C, D, all these what we call as simple predicates. So here, the Boolean expression is converted into sum of products format by multiplying the terms in the given expression, and finally we get ADF GHIJKL plus AEF GHIJKL plus BCD FGHIJKL plus BCEF GHIJKL. So here the path predicate expressions are nothing but they are the collection of expressions that must be fulfilled in order to achieve the desired path. So in all the expressions which are meant, here the path is achieved, else the path is not achievable. So either we can achieve the path or we may not achieve the path. So here the act of finding the set of solutions to this particular path predicate expressions is what is called as a path sensitization. And here the main purpose of all this discussion has been only to explore the sensitization issues and to provide the insight into the tools that help us to sensitize the paths. So if in practice, if we really have to do all the above manner that is being indicated, then the test design would be very, very difficult procedure and is suitable only to the mathematically inclined. And this does not go that the way how we try to practice. And it is, of course, much more easier. So here, let us see what are the heuristic procedures what we are going to use for path sensitization. So we have to see the heuristic procedures. Here, heuristic procedures, they are the most optimistic way of sensitizing these paths. So here, the first preference for sensitizing a path must be given to the path which can be easily sensitized, and thereby delaying the paths whose solution to the path predicate expression is difficult to obtain. So this convention is followed just for the sake of coverage. So here, the heuristic procedures of the path sensitization, they involve discovery, and at the same time, they involve problem solving using some past experiences and reasoning. So here, all the process, they depend process dependent processes or independent processes or correlated input variables are first determined and they are classified accordingly. So here we have to show the type of the relation, that is whether it may be a logical, arithmetic or functional, and the dependency by means of equations for these correlations and dependent variables respectively. And once after classifying these variables, we have to determine and classify the predicates that are depending on the input variables into dependent, independent, or correlated predicates. And also we have to show the type of the relation that is going to existing among them. Then we have to consider the uncorrelated and independent predicates for selection of paths during the selection. And if we have found any dependent predicates, then there may be a classification error, or there may be bug, or there may be complete path coverage, which is not yet achieved. So here we have to consider, the correlated and independent predicates. And if they are not covered, then we have to start considering the dependent and uncorrelated predicates. So here predicates to complete the coverage is, if it is not at all a complete, then we have to move to the last selection. That is, we have to consider only correlated and dependent variables. So here displaying all the input variables and its values, relationships among all those variables, types of links for these independent, dependent, and correlated variables. So here everything they are related to the selected paths. So here every path that will produce some set of inequalities, and which must be met in the order in the selection of that particular path. So here let us see some of the examples of path sensitization. So here the 4 examples what we will discuss for path sensitization is simple independent uncorrelated predicates, independent correlated predicates, dependent predicates, and generic predicates. So now coming to the first example, that is simple independent uncorrelated predicates. So here we have to consider the independent uncorrelated predicates. So here the uppercase letters in the decision boxes of this particular picture, they represent the predicates. And here we can see there are 4 decisions in this example, and consequently we are having 4 predicates. So here if you can notice, the false predicates which are being denoted by a bar on the variable, and true predicates are represented by variables without any bar over them. So from this figure we can retrieve the entire covering path and the predicate values which can be presented like this. So here we have path and predicate values. If you can see, we have 4 predicates and 16 combinations, and set of all possible paths what we can achieve here is 8. So here if you can see the different paths that can be achieved, the 8 different paths what we can achieve is so here the few using these few but more simple paths with fewer changes can cover the same flow graph. So here we can cover the same flow graph with just a fewer changes. So here A, B, C, D, E, F, that is one path. So here if you can see A, B, C, D, E, F. So from 1 I am going to 2 in this way. So where what we got? We got A, C bar. A, C bar. Next A, G, H, C, I, M, K, F. A, G. Next what is it? It is A, G, H. Okay, so here we can see the different paths what we can achieve here. Okay, so this is how we can see. Here it is missing. Actually A, G, H, next C, next I, M, next K, next F. This is the second path. A, G, L, M. A, G, L, M, next J, E, and F. So these are the different paths. A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. A bar, C bar. A, B, C, I, M, J, E, F. A, B, C, I, M, J, E, and F. Okay, so these are the examples of simple path, simple paths. Now let us see example of correlated independent predicates. So here, if you can see the two decisions in this particular picture which are correlated because they use the identical predicates. They are using here, both are using the same identical predicates. Why? So if you pick the path A, B, D, E, D, E, G and A, C, D, F, G. Okay. Did you get? So A, B, D, E, G or A, C, D, F, G. Okay, so here if we are going to pick the paths A, B, D, E, G and A, C, D, F, G, which seem to provide the coverage, and we would find neither these paths which is achievable. So if the A branch C is taken at the first decision, then the A branch E must also be taken at the second decision. So these two decisions are therefore potential for 4 paths, but only 2 of them, A, B, D, F, G and A, C, D, E, G are achievable. So now if we take this thing, so here the flow graph can be replaced with the above this thing. We can replace the same thing with this particular figure. So in which we have to reproduce the common code, or alternatively we can embed the common link D code into a subroutine. So this D, what we have done is we have embedded. Okay, we have embedded into the subroutine. Now coming to the third one, that is dependent predicates. So in dependent predicates, finding sensitizing values for dependent predicates may force us to play a computer. So usually and thankfully most of the routines processing does not affect the control flow and consequences which can be ignored. So we have to simulate the computer only to the extent that is necessary for forcing those paths. So here loops are the most common kind of dependent predicates. Okay, so here the number of times the typical routine. So the number of times the typical routine will iterate in a loop and is usually determined in the straightforward manner from the input variable values. And consequently, it is usually easy to work in the backward to determine the input values that will force a loop to the specified number of times. Now, coming to the fourth one, that is a general case. So in the general case, there is no simple procedure for the general case. So it is easy to state the steps that are being involved, but much harder to accomplish them. So we have to select the cases to provide the coverage on the basis of functional sensible paths. And if the routine is well structured, we should be able to force most of the paths without any deep analysis. So interactable paths that should be examined for the potential bugs, and before investigation time is going to solve these equations, or whenever we might have to do the or we have to find the path that is going to force the input values. So here we have to tackle the path with the fewest decisions first. Then we have to go for the preferences to the non-looping paths over the looping paths. So here what we have to do is we have to tackle the paths with the fewest decisions. And then we have to give the preference to the non-looping paths over the looping paths. And we have to start at the end of the path and not at the beginning. So what we have to do is we have to start from the end. instead of beginning. So here we have to trace the path in the reverse, and we have to list all the predicates in the order in which they appear. So here the first predicate that is going to impose the restrictions on the subsequent predicates, that is last on the path, is the normal direction, and previous one will be revoked in the normal path direction. So here we have to determine the broadcast, that is possible range of values for the predicates that will satisfy the desired path direction. Okay, so here we have to continue working backward along the path. So here we have to, what we have to do is we have to continue working backward along the path until we go to the next decision. So here the next decisions, they may be restricted by the range of values what we determined for the previous decision. Then we have to pick the range of values for the affected variables as broad as possible for the desired direction. And we have to consider, we have to take these set of values that are being determined, and we have to consider them as consistent. Okay, so here we have to continue until each of us we are going to reach the entrance. Therefore here what we have established is we have established a set of input conditions for the entire path. So here we are continuing until we reach the entrance, and therefore here we have established the set of input conditions for entire path. So here some decisions may be dependent on end or corresponding with the earlier ones. So here the path is achievable if the input values, they become contradictory or impossible. So if the path is achieved, then we have to try a new path for an additional coverage. Okay, so here there are several advantages and disadvantages of using these two approaches, the forward method and the backward method. So in the forward method, which is usually less work we will have, and we do not know where we are going as we are tracing the graph. So that is the main advantage. Of course, it is also a disadvantage. Okay, so we will go in the forward, at the same time we will go in the backward. So these are the two approaches what we are going to use here. Okay, I hope you understood what is this particular topic. So in the next class, let us discuss about what is path instrumentation. So we will discuss about the different outputs of the test, outcomes, expected outcomes and actual outcomes. Okay, so we will close the session for now. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest notifications. Thank you, one and all.